Check out which boss is your club's best ever, based on points per game. With some outrageously surprising entries. SLAVEN Bilic was unceremoniously sacked by West Ham this week after a disastrous start to the 2017-18 season. Following another Premier League drubbing, this time 4-1 at home to Liverpool, the Hammers board pulled the plug on Bilic's tenure in East London. In replacing the Croatian chief with ex-Everton ace David Moyes, West Ham faced an almighty backlash from disgruntled Irons fans. Incredibly though, Bilic was in fact West Ham's most successful Premier League manager ever based on points per game. But who is statistically the best boss of the other 19 Premier League clubs? Check out the full list below. From lowest points per game to highest.Dyche, may be Burnley's best ever, but his overall return of just 1. .06 points per game is dead last for best bosses in the Premier League.Howezat? Unsurprisingly, the current Cherries boss is the best in the club's Prem history. He's also the only manager of their top-flight tenure.Hughes has worked wonders with Stoke, turning them from long ball specialists to a proper football-playing club. Sometimes .1.29 points per game is still good for only 18th. During the Monk era, Swansea were actually in the Europa League, which is incredible to think now they are one of the favourites for the drop under Paul Clement. West Ham have just sacked their best ever manager.Over to Moyesy.Hodgson still holds the honour of the best points per game ratio in charge of the Baggies with 1. If only he did so well with England.Brighton's best.Brighton's only.I and the Premier League that is. Same for the Terriers.in points per game, games played, games won, and the fact the current boss is the club's best ever by default. The Hornets' flying start to the season has seen Silva take the crown of best Watford boss in the Premier League. Early days though.He may have missed out on the Stoke and West Brom honour, but when it comes to the Eagles, Pulis is the No1 boss. Moyes heads to West Ham holding the honour of being Everton's best ever boss.The Toffees themselves are still looking for a boss of their own. Of course it's Claudio.The Italian led them to the most famous of all Premier League titles. And was promptly sacked. Ouch. Recently booted out of Goodison Park, at least the Dutch boss can sleep easy knowing he's Southampton's top boss. This is a blast from the past, as Kevin I would love it if we beat them. Keegan storms into the Newcastle record books. From a former Newcastle boss to the current. Benitez holds the honour at Anfield with an impressive 1. .9 points per game record. Pochettino is unquestionably the best boss in Spurs Premier League history, as his title challengers have earned 1. 94 points per game under his leadership. Somewhat surprising to not be No1, Fergie comes in at No3 as the first boss to crack the 2 points per game barrier. But with a much larger sample size than our actual No1 and No2, he'll still go down as the best ever. For now, they've stormed to the top of the Premier League this season with the best ever record in the top flight. Pep has led City to 2.22 points per game under his reign. The reigning champs haven't had it all their way this season, but 37 wins in 49 games see Conte storm to No1 in the Premier League and Chelsea charts.